After Simon, a member of the royal family, and his friends go missing at the Mountain View Hotel, the Master Detective is sent to investigate the hotel and the surrounding area. As they unlock more and more of the history of the area, they begin being pursued by a supernatural entity, and they must use their wits to save Simon, his friends, and themselves. I'm going to be honest here. I usually try to come up with something positive to say about these games. I was even able to say something positive about Rewind, the last game that I played that I really didn't like. But it is difficult with this game. So I won't. I really did not like this game. The few characters we interact with aren't that memorable, the puzzles are mostly just annoying, and the entire game just feels like a knockoff of Dire Grove. Stop me if you've heard this one. The Master Detective ends up investigating a near-abandoned hotel in a small town. It's near-abandoned because it's the off-season, and also because something supernatural is happening. It's heavily snowing and getting colder by the minute. The supernatural being chasing you used to be a young woman who had something terrible happen to them that turned them into a supernatural entity that screams and can control people, turning them into mindless zombies that repeat the same phrase over and over again. The Master Detective then has to stop some sort of ritual from occurring that would unleash this evil onto the world, doing it. I knew this was a ripoff from the moment that I saw the outline of the hotel, and it was near identical to the hotel from Dire Grove. So, the people in charge of these games can't fix Dire Grove to make it playable from those of us who have Windows and Macs that are not older than Windows 10, but they can make a blatant ripoff. On top of all of that, this game just isn't scary. Oh, the game wants you to think that it is, because it keeps commenting on how it's scary. It's not going to back that up with an actual spooky atmosphere, but it's telling you it's spooky, so it's definitely spooky. There's literally a moment where you turn a light on, and it reveals a gas can, and the dialogue pops up and says that it was scary. What was scary? The gas can? The net? Turning the light on? Saying something is scary doesn't automatically make it scary game. You have to actually put in the effort. Also, annoyingly enough, there are 2 moments in this game where you are given an item specifically said to do something, but when you try to do it in the first time when you can do that, it tells you that you can't. That was a convoluted way of putting that, so let me just tell you what I'm talking about. The first time is at the beginning of the game. The housekeeper mentions that the snow has blown over, and so gives you a blowtorch to get rid of any snow that you might encounter. You go to a place where there is snow stopping you from accomplishing a task, you use the blowtorch, and then get told that you can't use the blowtorch there. Why would you use the blowtorch in the one place where it says you should use it? Idiot. Later in the game, you create a saber saw, which is specifically mentioned to get rid of ice. So you go to a place where you found ice and you need to get rid of the ice, you use the saber saw, and why are you trying to use the saw on this ice? You can't use the saw here, you have to use the sandpaper. Like, come on, I don't know why you're trying to use the saw in the place that we told you can use the saw. I think it would be less annoying if the game explained why you couldn't use that. It does that in previous games, where you have an item and you're like, oh, I can use it here, but you can't, but the game actually at least lets you know why that is. Here, the game doesn't do that. It's just kind of like, no, it just dismisses you as if you should know that you can't use it there. The stakes aren't great in this one. We see the supernatural being fairly often, but every time we see them, they don't really do anything. They just kind of scream at you and then leave. There's also a moment where the zombified minions are attacking you, and you have to solve a puzzle to fend them off. However, unlike in Ravenhurst Unlocked, where you have to solve a puzzle while struggling for your life, and it actually feels like you're struggling for your life, here, they just kind of stroke your arm a little bit while your character makes noises like they're struggling. I can go on and on about how much I don't like this game. I can talk about how this company plastered its logo in a place that it really shouldn't be. I can talk about the moment where the bad guy talks to you and its jaw bobs up and down like a Muppet, making it even less threatening than it already was. I can talk about the weird auto-tune voice that they've started using for the briefings at the beginning of the game instead of an actual human. I can talk about how this game, once again, completely ignored the ending of Crossfade, where agents had been taken over by something, but I guess we just need to keep making mediocre or bad games instead of continuing that. I can keep going. At the end of the day, this game just wasn't that great. But what annoys me more than anything is how much it is a blatant ripoff of my all-time favorite Mystery Case Files game. I can forgive a lot when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I cannot forgive it tarnishing something that I enjoy. So, what's my rating? Well, it's not a time limit, so I am going to put it above Huntsville. Barely. 3 out of 10. And with all of that being said, to my friends and fellow VEDSies, I will see all of you tomorrow.